Trip it! Trip it!
Had to be accurate, got a little bit lucky.
Funky, but I'll take it.
When you hit a pin, you expect it to fall over. Welcome back to JR Pro Shop Vids, everyone. Today we got the best balls of 2023. Now, Barks, how many balls were actually released?
So amongst all the brands, there's a total of 88 balls this year. Sounds like a lot, but that's actually down from years past. So we're gonna break it down by company. With all the Brunswick brands, a total of 53 balls. For Storm products, it's 25 balls, and Motiv on their own had 10 balls. So altogether, that includes mixes and axes. That's a total of 88 balls.
Each of us picked 2 balls, so that's 8 balls total for best balls of 2023. We're gonna throw a few frames, we're gonna explain why it's our favorite, and we'll throw in some honorable mentions of balls that we like, but that didn't make our top 2. All right, let's hit the lanes. All right, Jungo's up, very first ball, the IQ Tour Urethane 78U. I think this is one of the best balls of 2023 just because it does hook a little less on the pitch black, where the pitch black, starting to hook a little early sometimes, you have to move left, where this ball gives you a little bit more control, I think, and you can move a little bit right on shorter patterns as the lanes break down. So I think this is gonna be a really popular ball in 2024. So let's throw a few shots, show you why. We're bowling on a house shot here that's a little burnt up, so balls are gonna hook a little more than usual. Yeah, I missed a little left there, but you can see that ball is super controllable, right? It's not gonna hook very much, ever. On a really tough pattern, flat patterns, very low ratios, ball like the IQ Tour 78U, it's gonna be good to start with. All right, I think we're pretty close to lined up, so I'll just throw a few strikes for you guys here, and we'll move on to my next ball. Unreal. When you hit a pin, you expect it to fall over. There we go, there's one. There's one. All right, one more. You can just see how early it picks up, how smooth and predictable it is. If you got a lot of rev rate, two-handed, this ball is gonna be really good for you. Beautiful. That ball's coming with me everywhere I go. Just before we get into my next ball, I just want to give my Team Canada coach and personal coach, Ty Rose, a shout out for his brand new book, available on Amazon. So everyone is able to order it. Type 1 frame at a time. It'll pop right up, you can buy it. Got 100 tips for bowling. This will make you a better bowler for sure. Very easy to read, very digestible. Next up, Jungo's got the Zen Gold Label. A totally different ball than the IQ 78U. We got a symmetric pearl. This ball gets down the lane really easy and makes a sharp left turn, where the IQ 78, really early, really smooth, really predictable. So 2 totally different balls here from Storm that are my favorites. Not here Global and Storm. Let's throw it a few times, see what it does. Right, that ball carries everything, just gotta hit the pocket. But that ball has a lot of back end, gets through the front part lane really easy, so as soon as the lanes start to break down, the oil starts to change, starts to dry up a little bit, that's when you wanna go to something like a Zen Gold Label. All right, gonna throw one more strike here with the Zen Gold Label, but just before I do that, some honorable mentions of balls that I like throughout the year that didn't make my top 2. Virtual Energy Blackout, really good ball, just like the Dark Coat I found. Really clean ASIM pearl, but still got some bite in the back end. Another honorable mention would be the Eternity Pop. Really good for heavy oil, really good to get that ball started up nice and early and continue through the pins, very fresh, lots of volume. So I'm definitely gonna bring that when going to a tournament and they lay down a lot of oil and it's a lot of games, and that's gonna be the first ball out of my bag for that. All right, one more good one with the Gold Label. Let's wrap it up. Oh, kind of ugly, but kind of nice. Next up, we got Barks. 2 of his favorites and a couple honorable mentions.
All right, so we just heard from Jungo about his favorite Storm releases. Let's talk a little bit more about the Brunswick brands. So a lot of balls have been released this past year, so we do have reviews for most, if not all of them, so make sure to check those out. But for now, let's get into my favorite 2 balls of this past year. All right, so let's start with my very favorite ball. Came out earlier this year in January, the Envy Tour. I will give an honorable mention to the Pearl because I do really like that for a shiny ball. But this one definitely builds upon the success of the Obsession Tour, which is one of my favorite balls of all time. So same core on the inside, just a little stronger cover stock, and in my opinion, that makes it a little bit more versatile, and you can use it on a few different patterns that maybe the Obsession Tour couldn't quite handle that amount of volume or that length of oil. This ball seems to be good on just about everything. Better. Yeah. A little bit more mid-laney than some of the other balls in the past, like that Obsession Tour. There's enough of a core there, it does shape a lot. That ball's not great when you need to get way inside. Not enough differential to get that ball around the corner. So if you want a ball with a stronger cover stock that you can still play a little straighter angles with, this is definitely the choice. Funky, but I'll take it. So let's take a look at ball number 2, which for me is the new blue hammer. Now this ball for me does not exactly replace a purple hammer. I think with enough surface, they're kind of close. This one will kind of lane shine. If it gets a little shiny, it gets a little quicker down lane. I think this is more the type of ball that sort of bridges the gap between a purple hammer and some of the reactive balls in the lineup. Now there may be something coming down the pipeline that does replace that purple hammer, but stay tuned for that one. Get there. Now we are bowling on a house shot here, so this type of ball usually isn't the best option. As you can see there, a little high, a little early rolling, fast 8. So a little bit better on probably tougher conditions. But I'll give you a good one here. Oh, get there. Oh, funky hit there again. Like I said before, some honorable mentions, especially that NV Tour Pearl, which I do have in my bag. I didn't get to throw it out here today. Another ball that kind of flew under the radar was the Track Theorem, combination of one of my favorite cores and cover stocks. So take a look for those, take a look at our reviews on both of those balls. That's enough for me, let's send it over to Simoo.
Hey guys, Simoo back on the lane, here to talk about my favorite balls of 2023. So you saw Jungo and Barks, but what about us regular people who aren't sponsored to throw only one brand? For me, that's the luxury that I have. I get to throw balls from every different company, and you're gonna see that in my choices today. Starting off, I got the Atlas from Columbia 300. It's a very strong ASIM solid. You know me being a lower rev player, love my tanks. Let's see what this does. So you see we're bowling on about a 3-foot oil pattern today. Ball hooks right where the dots are on the lane, but that's okay. With these ASIM solids, you're seeing very continuous motion down lane, and even though it kind of pukes and rolls out, still strikes. So this ball is a tank. It's the strongest end of my arsenal, and I really trust it that when I get it out, it's gonna come back. The dangers of those big ASIM solids, sometimes they hit a little bit flat, especially when there's no oil out on the lanes, but that's okay. You can tell why I like that ball. Very controllable, and it still gets me to the pocket. So 2023 will be the year that I remember I first started throwing Motiv. So thank you to Motiv. I really like your product so far, but my favorite has been this Raptor Fury. This Raptor Fury is a strong sim solid. It's like a bench arc ball for me, and I find that it really complements my face too. It's a little bit weaker than the Atlas, so I'll move it a touch right. Try to strike on this if you want to call it a pocket. Had to be accurate, got a little bit lucky, tripped out a 4-pin, but we love that ball. Very, very strong in the mid lane, and you can tell gets a little bit lucky down lane too. A little bit of loft was the way to go. Get it past that front part of the lane. That's the Raptor Fury, one of the best balls of 2023. Highly recommend you check it out. Let's talk about some honorable mentions that also could have made this list. I really like the Mindset from Brunswick, another strong ASIM solid. Cuda Pearl from Columbia 300 was a great sequel to the Cuda that I threw last year. And the Nuclear Forge was a great angular pearl from Motiv that I really enjoyed throwing. So all those balls have been staples in my arsenal at different types of the year. Something that I really encourage you guys to do is try throwing different brands, especially if you're not tied down to one by contract. You might be really surprised what you see. That's enough for me. Let's send it off to Jimoo.
Last but not least, Jimoo is here, your favorite two-hander, and we're gonna show my favorite balls of 2023. First up, I got the Tour Dynamics from Roto Grip. A lot of good balls that we got this year. A lot of tourneys, but this ball, as of recently, has been one of my favorites. You'll see. All right, that ball's super smooth. It's an ASIM solid. It's more of a mid-performance bowling ball. So as someone with a lot of rev rate, I don't need balls that hook a crazy amount. That ball fits me perfectly. So not working with a lot of oil out here today, which is unfortunate, but we'll make do. One more shot with the Tour Dynamics. Shout out Buffa Bowling for drilling this. Trip it, trip it. Oh. Once again, that ball, smooth, early, controllable. Love it a lot. As many of you know, I've been throwing one ball for basically the entire year, and that's this IQ Tour Ruby. Threw this mainly in Peru for a bunch of other tourneys as well. It's my favorite pearl these days. Oh yeah. That ball clears the front super easy. It glides through. The way that I have it drilled, it rolls into the pocket super nice off the back end. Very controlled as well. You notice I like the controllable bowling balls. Bang. Oh, not the prettiest strikes today, but we'll take them. So some honorable mentions for me. I love the Outer Limits from Radical this year. Also from Radical, the Zigzag that just came out recently. Make sure to check out those reviews. And I got to throw some Motiv stuff this year. So the Black Venom and the Pride Dynasty, also very good balls. Let's wrap it up all together. Let's go.
Thanks so much for watching. The question today is super simple. Let us know down in the comments what were your favorite bowling balls of 2023.
And don't forget, if you want some bowling products for yourself, bowling balls, shoes, bags, anything, head to shop.buffabowling.com. Use the promo code JungoBarks for 10% off your entire order. Yes, that's why it's called Jungo Barks. Thanks again for amazing 2023. We're excited to see what comes next year. Peace out.